Built in 7th century AD by various Mauryan rulers, Chittorghat, the fort, is said to have been the capital of the Sisodia and Gulat kings who ruled Mewar between the 8th and the 16th century. The Chittor fort was named after Chittorghat Maurya. The name Mewar was formed from the name of the ancient region and its people. Mewar or Mewad is a region in the south-central part of Rajasthan state of India. It includes the present-day districts of Bhilwara, Chittorgarh, Pratapgarh, Rajsamand, Udaipur, Parawa Tehsil of Jowhar district of Rajasthan, Neemuch and Mandsaur of Madhya Pradesh and some parts of Gujarat. Mewar speak Mewari language. The capitals of Mewar were the Nagda of Malwa region of western Madhya Pradesh in River Chambal Basin, the Chittorgarh, one of the most fiercely contested seats of power in India, and the Udaipur after the fall of Chittorgarh where the rulers shifted to. Mewari dynasties are the Maurya during period up to 734 AD, the Guhilas are the Guhilats during the period 734 AD to 1303 AD, the Sisodias during the period 1326 AD to 1952 AD. For centuries together the region was ruled by Rajputs described as a fierce and warlike people. The Mewar region lies between the Aravalli range to the northwest, Ajmer to the north, Gujarat and the Vigad region of Rajasthan to the south, the Malwa region of Madhya Pradesh state to the southeast and the Hadoti region of Rajasthan to the east. The word Mewar is formed from the ancient name of the region and its people. The Aravalli Range, which forms the northwestern boundary of the region, is composed mostly of sedimentary rocks, like marble and Kota stone, which has traditionally been an important construction material. Mewar has a tropical climate. River Bedik Rivat Banas, its tributaries, become River Chambal and then River Yamuna flowing from the Great Himalayas. River Sabarmati and River Mahi empty to Gulf of Kambat of Gujarat. Vegetation of the region is part of the Kathiawar dry deciduous forests ecoregion of Thron scrub forests with 550 to 700 mm of rain annually. The Rajputs were a fierce and proud clan, who refused to yield to the enemy. Hence, when faced with imminent defeat, in order to evade succumbing to the enemy and consequently suffering dishonor, the Rajput warriors and womenfolk practiced the glorified wartime traditions of Jauhar and Saka. Jauhar refers to the practice of mass suicide on the funeral pyre, carried out by Rajput women of a besieged city, generally led by their queen, when defeat was certain, thereby evading dishonor at the hands of the enemy. In this case, the queen's people get the information of defeat, certain, maybe. The women would collect at night dressed up in their wedding attire, and commit communal self-immolation. This act was accompanied by chanting of the Vedas. On the morning following the night of the Jauhar, the Rajput warriors would charge into the battlefield clad in saffron, the color of sacrifice, their foreheads marked with the ashes of their wives and children, and a tulsi leaf in their mouth, the leaves of the plant Osamum sanctum, a Hindu tradition associated with funeral rites, to fight till, and until, the death. This was known as Saka. Thus female part of the tradition is Jauhar and the male part is Saka. The mighty fortress of Chittor is witness to three major Jauhars and Sakas. The first Jauhar was led by Rani Perimini when the fortress was besieged by Sultan Ala-ud-Din Khilji. The second was led by Rani Kamavati, when Chittor was under attack from the forces of Bahadur Shah of Gujarat. The third and final Jauhar and Saka were committed on the night of 22 and the 23rd of February night of 1568, where 13,000 women jumped into fire, when Chittor faced imminent defeat at the hands of the forces of Mughal Emperor Akbar. Various other sites of Jauhar are described in the history of the country, and the tradition has strong impact in forming the superstitious minds of people of the country. Out Guide showed the site of the Jauhar of the Rani Padmini near the Vijay Sthamb and became eloquent in describing the local knowledge of the tradition, event, valor, and even the medication from an ancient medical factory. Chittorghat had a very good fruit garden in olden times, as you see today too, as per him.
अभी क्या उस हिसाब से चलता है। अब ये जो सामने एक रूम दिख रहा है अपन को नीचे, वो जो रूम है नीचे, वहाँ पे एक गाय का पत्थर का मुंह बना हुआ है, जहाँ पे 365 दिन 12 महीने 24 घंटे पानी आता है। वो कहाँ से आता है, कैसे आता है, आज तक उसका कोई पता नहीं लगा सका। ये जो कुंड है, ऐसे 84 कुंड है, सब एक दूसरे से लिंक है। ये कुंड जब ओवरफ्लो होता है तो यहाँ से झरना लेके पानी नीचे जाता है। सामने वाला जो महल देख रहे हो आप ऊपर की साइड, वो जयमल सिंह राठौड़
Because of the contradicting exaggeration of the poets, folk storytellers and court historians, Hail ibn Battuta, some modern historians negate the events of Jauhars as a whole. The Jauhar of Rajput women at Chittorghat is illustrated in the Akbarnama showing the burning of Rajput women following the fall of the fort of Chittor in 1568. The royal Mughal tents are identifiable by their red color in the lower left behind the cannons. At the bottom left the royal camp can be seen rejoicing, knowing that they have won the day above. The women can be seen performing Jauhar, where they willingly jump into fire to save their dignity and morals. Thousands of the women perished in the event as per that Mughal record. The pyre would be kept burning for months whilst thousands of Rajput women would sacrifice themselves in this way, while the men were expected to meet their end in battle. As per a museum picture, they kept the hand marks of the batch of women of Jauhar as a memorial of their valor, as one can assume it was a country-wide organized event of a people believing a life after death. One can expect such an ancient religious conditioning behind the willingness of the leading women. Throughout this period of Jauhar and Saka, wonderful trade took place through the country. In the after-independence secular India, a political-like voluntary Hindu-biased organization, mostly of male members of children and adults, usually gather near a local village temple ground, is called something similar sounding Saka. Their gatherings. The organization has a pre-independence history, and during the Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and the national emergency declared by her, this organization was banned but later unbanned. It is not clear the sound mentioned above is universal throughout the country and throughout the organization, though the organization use Hindi and Sanskrit words to describe their activities. Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India is brought to power with the help of this organization, as per some people. Actually, this may be a doubtful historical anachronism if skipped to denote when describing the ruins of the Chittor fort in early 21st century. History is what is written by the ruling government. Yesterday politics may be tomorrow's history. Time, one of the parameters of the history, can be exaggerated by the writer infinitely, while the other parameter, the geography, cannot. The reason behind the warlike valor of the Rajputs is attributed to the geography by several historians. In the above-mentioned village temple gatherings, the organization teach children about the valor of the Rajputs along with several other things as well known to the people. The national calendar of India is based on the Saka calendar, which has been adopted as the official civil calendar besides the Gregorian calendar. The Saka era is believed to have been founded by King Shalivahana of the Shatavahana dynasty. Though the facts are widely disputed, one can hear the sound like Saka when saying the name of the official calendar. May be an accidental coincidence to laymen but not to historians. No one of them showed anything sure.